More and more media experts are noting that OPEC Plus's decision to start increasing oil production, despite falling prices, no longer looks so illogical. There is growing speculation that the cartel was responding to U.S. pressure to increase production ahead of the Israel-Iran conflict. Tehran claims that the Trump administration had advanced knowledge of Israel's plans for a military operation against Iran. Trump comments on Israel's attack on oil targets. Trump wrote, "The U.S. has nothing to do with attacking Iran tonight. If we are attacked by Iran in any way, the full might and power of the U.S. military will come down on you with unprecedented fury. However, we can easily make a deal between Iran and Israel and end this bloody conflict." Israeli strike on Iranian oil facility brings production of 12 million cubic meters per day to a halt. Officially, the target was energy infrastructure. Since Friday, oil prices have continued to hold above the $74 level, the highest level since last August. Oil prices are expected to rise to a high of $94.10 this year as Israel launched strikes on Iranian energy facilities. Unless Israel can destroy Iran's nuclear program, key components of which are deep underground, Iran and Israel could be bogged down in an endless war. Experts, Bloomberg. An Israeli official said that Israel is not interested in a ceasefire at this time because the country has still not achieved all of its goals. First and foremost is the destruction of Iran's nuclear program. Axios. China has been the largest buyer of Iranian oil since 2019 after the reimposition of U.S. sanctions, and its share has grown significantly over the past 2 years. Goldman Kapler data. EU countries plan to stop importing Russian uranium by 2030. FT. Taiwan has blacklisted China's Huawei and SMIC, moving even closer to U.S. trade policy. CNBC. Iran signals desire to de-escalate hostilities with Israel. Iran has said privately it will resume nuclear talks if the U.S. doesn't intervene. European Commission. Messages about the EU's acceptance of U.S. tariffs of 10% are speculative and do not reflect the current state of the debate. EC. The EU has objected from the outset to unjustified and illegal U.S. duties. Oil tanker market in turmoil over Israel-Iran conflict. Shipping companies have started raising freight costs due to risks. Bloomberg. Turkey will increase the cost of ships passing through the Bosporus and Dardanelles Straits by 15% to $5.83 per ton from July 1st. NTV channel. A strong rise in oil prices amid conflict in the Middle East could trigger a renewed rise in U.S. inflation. In such a case, the Trump administration may again print the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, to intervene in the oil market. Analysts, the FT recently, the head of the IEA said about the readiness to intervene in the market. Petra Diamonds reported a 3% increase in diamond prices in April to June. DRW Investments of U.S. financier Don Wilson has invested nearly $100 million in Trump media. The investment comes just 9 weeks after the SEC dropped charges against Wilson's subsidiary Cumberland for allegedly operating as an unregistered crypto dealer. Bloomberg notes a record surge in oil call option purchases amid the Iran-Israel conflict. Historically, such strong spikes have been seen before localized market tops. Recently, the head of the IEA has indicated a willingness to intervene in the market if necessary. Experts also believe that the U.S. could also intervene in the market if the rise in oil prices continues. Institutionalists sold U.S. stocks at a near-record pace last week. Retail investors, on the contrary, bought at a record pace. BofA data. China industrial production, May. Goldman and Citi don't expect the surge in oil prices to be sustainable. A major fire broke out at one of Marathon Oil's largest refineries in Texas City in the U.S. French Kering, which owns brands and Gucci, Yves Saint Laurent, Balenciaga will appoint a former Renault CEO as its new CEO, counting on him to help the company turn things around, just as he helped turn things around for Renault. Nissan will sell 5% stake in Renault and close 7 plants. Nissan CEO Ivan Espinosa. Copper stocks on the London Metal Exchange fell to a 2-year low. Big mint Russian copper is being bought up quickly on the London Metal Exchange. Glencore is buying up for sale to China. Bloomberg. Morgan raises third quarter 2025 oil forecast by $10 on geopolitics. Brent medium third quarter forecast raised to $67.5. U.S. corporate reporting this week. S&P affirmed Germany's rating at the highest level of AAA. Outlook stable. Renault stock, ARNO, equals -6%. Kering stock, KER, equals +6%. Renault CEO leaves the company and will become the new CEO of Kering. Central Bank of England to keep rate unchanged at June 19th meeting. The Paris Air Show has kicked off. Airbus is the first to receive an order for 77 aircraft from Saudi Arabia's Avilis leasing company. Trump approves $14.9 billion deal between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel. Impact of Israel-Iran conflict on the world economy. 1. Oil prices could rise to $130 a barrel, according to J.P. Morgan. 2. Iran currently produces 3.3 million barrels of oil per day, or approximately 3.5% of global supply. 3. Oil at $130 would likely double U.S. inflation to approximately 5%. 4th, interest rate cuts are likely to be delayed further as a result. 5. Closure of the Strait of Hormuz is seen as a worst-case scenario. When oil and other energy commodities are rising, investors focus on inflation-linked assets that should weather this inflation with the least losses. In the past, this role was traditionally played gold, but now partly by BTC. Oil prices rose by almost 5% today after the markets first opened amid escalating geopolitical tensions between Iran and Israel. Meta launches subscriptions, channels, ads on WhatsApp. Musk again warned of the risks of a U.S. default if current fiscal policy doesn't change. Gemini and Coinbase plan to obtain licenses in Malta and Luxembourg, compliant with new MiCA rules, allowing them to operate in all 27 EU countries. Inflows into spot BTC ETFs continue. Aggregate inflows have returned to all-time highs. Farside data. Inflows into spot BTC ETFs are one of the main bullish drivers in the market. BTC Magazine notes the extent of BTC accumulation by whales since Trump won the U.S. election. Whales continue to actively buy ETH sentiment data. Bitwise, owning one BTC is the new American dream for young investors. Asian MicroStrategy company MetaPlanet MTPLF has bought another 1,112 BTC for its balance sheet. The company will raise another $210 million to buy BTC. Michael Saylor met with Pakistan's finance minister and could now become one of Pakistan's advisors on crypto strategy. The SEC has given the green light to Trump's Trump Media company to create a BTC reserve. Trump Media recently raised $2.5 billion to buy BTC for the balance of the company. It has also been reported that the company plans to raise another $12 billion, including for further BTC purchases. Colin Wu, big unlocks in tokens this week. UK-based Coincilium has started buying BTC for its balance sheet. Coinbase CEO reveals new Coinbase cryptocurrency card with 4% cash back in BTC. Novogratz, BTC will replace gold and reach the $1 million mark. Crypto inflows surge again, plus $1.9 billion for the week versus plus $285 million a week earlier. CoinShares. Swedish healthcare company H100 Group is looking to raise $75 million to buy BTC for its balance sheet. 21 shares launch 5 new crypto ETPs, exchange-traded product, on NASDAQ Stockholm Uniswap, AUNI, Avalanche, AVAX, Bitcoin Gold, BOLD, Solana Core Staking, CSOL, Ethereum Core, ETHC. Vietnam has passed a law recognizing crypto assets in the country. The law will take effect on January 1st, 2026. Hong Kong-based Meme Strategy starts buying Sol for balance sheet. Strategy bought 10,100 more BTC. Justin Sun's Tron plans US IPO, FT. UK-based Smarter Web company has raised 30 million GBP to buy BTC for its balance sheet. Japan's Beat Holdings plans to raise $5.6 billion to buy BTC for its balance sheet. Origin Protocol DAO launches $3 million buyback of OGN tokens. Purpose Investments has received final regulatory approval to launch the Purpose XRP ETF, which will begin trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange on June 18th under the ticker XRPP. Davis Commodities starts buying BTC for balance sheet. Truth Social President Trump's social network is applying for a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. The SEC has already accepted it for review.